You know you're a dog trainer's dog, don't you? This is gonna be cool. I'm pretty sure this is the coolest, most high-tech dog toy ever made. And obviously this one needs an outlet for this enthusiasm. The Varram is more than just a toy. This will get your dog thinking and playing, even when they're home alone. Inertia, tennis balls are so old school. You can control it with an app and drive it manually, or you can have it interact with your dog autonomously, and it actually distributes treats. This can even help reduce things like separation anxiety or destructive behavior while you're away. The first thing I want to do is introduce this to Inertia in a way that doesn't cause her to bite or chew it or to be nervous of it. I have not introduced this to her at all. This is really important because some dogs are likely to get really excited by a new toy like this, or ignore it, or even get nervous of it. So we want to optimize this training session for success, and so do you. So I'm gonna introduce the Varram all the way over here, several feet away from her. You might want to do this all the way across the room at first with your dog. My first action really is to get her comfortable with this. I'm gonna put some treats around it, let her know that, hey, this new object is responsible for really yummy treats. It really pays to go slowly when introducing anything new to your dog. I'm gonna create some distance between Inertia and the Varram before I use the app to start moving it. So I've got a treat right here. I'm gonna let her see it. Look at that, did you see that? This is so cool. Right now, I'm operating the robot manually so I can have extra control of when it starts and stops while I get Inertia used to it. So I'm letting her nibble on a treat as I move it a little bit. Neat. I don't know if she's noticed it yet, but it's important to be really subtle here in the beginning, just in case your dog is likely to get scared. It should go without saying, do not just drive this at your dog or even anywhere near them until they've taken it in and adapted. Let's put some treats right over there. I'm gonna back it up a little bit. Isn't that cool? So far, she's not lunging at it or biting it. That's good. We want to keep it that way. Remember, this is not a chew toy. Fortunately, Varram designed this with vets and trainers in a way that's very enticing to dogs, but also difficult to bite. It's pretty hard for a dog to get their mouth around this. This has a case on it, and it's fully functioning with the case on, and you should always leave it on when your dog is interacting with it. It comes with this very convenient tool as well. These cases are replaceable too. Every time I move it for just a little bit of a second here, I'm gonna go ahead and put a treat down. Yes, good, love that. I love that she's checking it out. The idea is to get her to equate this with fun treats. Now, ultimately, it's gonna dispense treats, so getting her to take treats right in front of it is a way to let her know, hey, you're gonna be doing that a lot. If she does try to bite at it or claw at it, I'm gonna put my hand between her and the Varram. No, don't do that. I don't want her getting rough with it. Good timing here, she's like a paid actress. And then ask her to look at me, up here, getting her attention on me, letting her know that, you know, calm behavior is what I'm looking for around the Varram. And there I picked up the speed a little bit, making it a little more enticing. Leave it alone, look at me. Yes, and see, that's what we wanna do. Leave it alone, get their attention on you, and then have them behave a little bit more politely. It's a fine line because you want them interacting with it, but you don't want them chewing on it or playing too roughly with it. All right, she's doing great while it barely moves. Now let's have the Varram distribute its first treat. You can use any treat in here, or you can even use their food. Again, we wanna be really cautious here because when it distributes a treat, it makes a sound. And sometimes dogs are reluctant of new sounds. So we'll create a positive association with that sound. What's that? Oh, neat. See that? Look at this. You believe that? See that? Wasn't that cool? So we did well there. Notice too, I'm not moving the Varram around. I'm just hitting the toss button on the app. Neat, look at this, there's treats. And so if you do this properly and you're gentle about introducing it, they start to think, oh, that sound means I'm getting a great treat. So far, she's doing great. She's not being too rambunctious with it. She's not nervous of it. This is exactly where we want her to be. You'll see these different preset motions at the top here. They're really cool. Like, for example, let's try waltz. We tap that, and you can see that it moves in this predefined motion right here. The motions are important because different types of motions appeal to different types of dogs. Some dogs might find that very interesting when it's spinning slowly. This is the wiggle. That'll get a dog's attention. The shake. That's a completely different type of movement, and that makes me want to play with it. Let's do the fast spin. What? These are so addictive. It's a good idea to get your dog comfortable with all these different preset motions so that when you do leave it on autonomous mode, they've seen it before. And at any point during these preset motions, you can go ahead and hit the treat toss button. You don't have to wait for it to stop. Wow, oh, look at that. You see that? And that's what we want. We want our dog's mind stimulated. We want their body moving without them grabbing it. These different preset motions and the treats and sounds really help to keep dogs interested. There are so many dimensions to this toy. Once you train your dog how to interact with the Varram and you're satisfied that they're playing with it appropriately under your supervision, you can leave it behind and it'll play with your dog while you're away. My favorite part of the Varram is that it operates autonomously. In fact, it's very aware of its surroundings, it knows where your dog is, and it can actually encourage your dog to play with it. We'll have the Varram go for 10 minutes, and since this is her first time with it, we'll have it give her 20 treats. The second it comes to life, she got interested. It looks like it's checking out its environment right now. And, oh, look at that. Some treats just came out. I don't think a nurse has figured that out. And now she's like, wait a minute. Oh my gosh. It's great. During autonomous mode, it'll make lots of different sounds and movements to keep your dog interested. There's the different movements it makes. See how it's randomly dispensing the treats? Random reinforcement like this is ultra effective for keeping a dog interested in, well, just about anything. This can help distract your dog from being anxious or destructive while you're away by redirecting their energy to something more productive. Welcome to the future, ladies and gentlemen. If your dog is ignoring the Varram, do your best to make it more interesting and use treats that your dog loves a lot. Those preset motions really help bring the Varram to life, so explore those. Even if your dog isn't actively following the Varram around, if your dog is engaged by watching something, their brain is active, and that is a good thing. And remember, it's not just randomly moving. The Varram is aware of its surroundings. It does a really good job at avoiding obstacles, too. Now, if your dog seems scared of the Varram, just put it away for that training session and reintroduce it, maybe after some exercise or when they're extra hungry, in order to motivate them to take a stronger interest in it. Take it as slowly as necessary to make sure that your dog is comfortable. Also, try to get your dog doing something they really like just while in the presence of the Varram, like fetch, tug, or general training for treats, so that they'll equate the Varram with fun time. If they're a little too hyper and crazy while interacting with it, be sure to give them a good round of exercise before doing a lot of training with the Varram. That'll get that excess energy out, and they'll be more likely to focus and be like, oh, this thing is awesome. If they're being too crazy, definitely don't encourage them by giving them more treats or letting them continue to interact roughly with the Varram. You can take these treads off and use different treads. These are the off-road ones, probably better for carpet. You can even store your dog's activity data so that you can see how their day went when you get home. This toy is smarter than most cars. It's tough, water-resistant, and easy to clean too. You can use any treats that are small enough to fit in. If you're looking for a really fun, cool, innovative dog toy, the Varram is perfect for you and your dog. I told you it was way cooler than a tennis ball.